Hi, I'm Shay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is my video for the day. We had a meeting this morning with Nichiren Shoshu, and they talked about this book. They've been going over it over time. It's Nichiren Shoshu, Basics of Practice. And I don't know why we're still at the beginning, but I guess things keep getting in the way. And I want to talk about this passage. It's my favorite passage from this book, and also most of the reason that I decided to join Nichiren Shoshu is this. And so I wanted to share it with you all. For those of you who don't like to read, I could just post it on Facebook, but
they're not going to read it.
Nobody's going to read it.
Right.
I thought maybe if I put it in a video, you might listen to it. So I'm going to do what David criticized them for this morning, which is just
How
read.
Embarrassing.
Read the book. Well, you don't want to go somewhere you're like listening to a speaker and they're just reading out of a book, But the book is so good. It's definitely just such a good piece of Buddhist writing. Whoever wrote this, congrats. It says, okay, so what is the purpose of faith in Nichiren Shoshu? And we were just talking about this in the last video. What's the point of your practice? What's the primary point? So we're not alone. We're not insane. It's right here in this book.
The jury's still.
Okay, maybe we're insane, but we're not alone on this.
Right.
The point of the purpose of your faith in Buddhism. I hate the word faith, but that's their term. Okay. To put it simply, there are two ultimate purposes for taking faith in this Buddhism. One is to realize an absolutely unshakable state of happiness in which there is boundless joy in being alive. Attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime, and parens. The other is to realize an ideal society in which people can enjoy happy lives together based on true Buddhism. Parens, Kosen-rufu. That's what we call Kosen-rufu for those who are not Buddhists and don't know our terms. It means making everybody in the world Buddhas, or also known as happy.
Mm-hmm.
Attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime does not mean changing your human form. Non-Buddhists wouldn't know what that meant, but it doesn't mean becoming another kind of person or, transforming into the Dalai Lama. It means in your current form, the person you are becomes a Buddha version of yourself. I'll have many comments as we go, so you can just jump in and let me know. Nor does it mean becoming a Buddha when you die, a mistaken view commonly held in other Buddhist denominations. Rather, it means achieving in this lifetime and in our present form the greatest potential life condition contained within the depths of our lives through sincere faith in and practice to the Gohonzon. And if you're not a Buddhist and you're listening to this, you're going to be lost on the Gohonzon, and I'm not going to get into that. So, oh well. This highest life condition is called the Buddha, Buddhahood, or the Buddha nature. Another name for it is Myoho Renge Kyo. So that is what we chant. We chant about our Buddhahood. Buddhahood is a mighty force that manifests a solution to every kind of suffering. It is a source of energy which manifests in our daily lives and propels each of us into a brilliant, truly joyful, and fulfilled existence in the present moment. Striving in faith, we aim to establish an absolutely indestructible life condition of spiritual strength, wisdom, and peace, grounded in the world of Buddhahood.
Wow. You're right. That's really good. I really agree with that.
It was this passage that made me realize these people know what Buddhahood is. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've heard anyone, because I wasn't reading Nichiren Shoshu literature before. I didn't even know how to get it, actually. And it had been a long time since I've heard anyone talk about Buddhahood this way.
That's spot on.
Okay. Of course, situations in which an ill person becomes healthy, an unhappy family finds harmony, or poverty changes into financial security are necessary conditions for a happy life. However, if these conditions are examined closely, they can all be seen to be relative, partial forms of happiness in comparison to an inner condition based on Buddhahood. In many cases, relative happiness is manifested only temporarily or partially.
it's a form of happiness that I think is even better than relative happiness, and it's
right.
Yeah, it's a different.
So I just want to. A lot of people think, I don't know. I think people don't like us, but when we propagate Buddhism, they say, well, you don't. If it's true that you, can be happy no matter what and everything, then you don't need me to treat you kindly, and you don't need all these things. You don't need anything else. And I would just say, you're still human. You still need things. This is the middle way. Shakyamuni, he was starving to death as an ascetic, and he went, this isn't leading to Buddhahood, and he ate food because he realized, people probably also need food. So we're not saying you don't, give up all things and live in a cave somewhere and all. That's a whole other form of Buddhism. But we're also not saying let's all focus on getting things. We're just saying, get your basic needs met so that you can attain Buddhahood without a tremendous amount of suffering going into it, as little suffering as possible going into this process. But, I just want to say that about that paragraph. Because people tend to go, to extremes, well, then you don't need anything, or there's no such thing as Buddhahood if you need things as well, and it's none of those extremes. It's the middle. It's in between. You need some things. Okay, so I wanted to skip ahead of them. They just read that part to the next part, which I think also is about Buddhahood. People who are Buddhas understand about Kosen-rufu and why it's so important. I believe this. I believe if you don't understand why Kosen-rufu is important, then you have not attained Buddhahood. It's like one of the definitions for me in my head.
That's a controversial statement.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone else say that, but I believe that.
I do too.
Because it's like if you discover, there's a way for people to win the lottery. It's a magic way, and everybody could be rich and happy. Why wouldn't you want to share that with? And it's equal. Everybody can do this, and everybody would be happy theoretically. That's not realistic, but why wouldn't you give it away? You're like, everybody could do this. But if you're like, well, everybody doesn't need to win the lottery and have all their needs met and be able to buy whatever they want and live comfortably for the rest of their lives. Nobody needs that. I think you probably don't believe that this lottery thing exists, because why wouldn't you share it if you really did believe it, if you actually saw it? So I think the two go together. If you've attained Buddhahood, you want this to show this to everyone. You just think this is going to be the greatest thing in these people's lives. I'm gonna help people do this as much as I can. So I think the two go together. So anyway, they talk about. So they're talking about Kosen-rufu. Also made me feel like these people know what Buddhahood is. They talk about it in a way that makes me think they get it. So I'll just read this. The second important purpose of faith is Kosen-rufu, which means to ceaselessly and correctly protect Nichiren Daishonen's Buddhism and widely propagate it throughout the entire world in order to rid the world of misery. This will create unshakable happiness for all people and build a truly peaceful society. I don't know. Happiness, yes. I don't know about the other part.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see quickly.
That would be nice. From the very start, Buddhism has taught its followers to be merciful and to pursue their own happiness together with concern and compassion for others. Nichiren Daishonin risked his life for peace in society and the happiness of humanity, and offered himself wholly for the sake of Kosen-rufu. His successors, the second high priest Nigo Shonin and third high priest Nichimoku Shonin, and each of the successive high priests have all fervently exerted themselves for the realization of Kosen-rufu. Those who make this admirable spirit a deep part of themselves and thereby dedicate themselves for the sake of Kosen-rufu are embracing the true spirit of Nichiren Shoshu believers. So they're saying right here, offered himself wholly. In other places they talk about this a lot, offering your life, dedicating your life. Yeah, I thought it was really encouraging. I'm really encouraged by the way they talk about Buddhahood.
Absolutely. It is. Very admirable.
So did you have any comments on any of all this?
I don't think so.
I read several things. Yeah, I just wanted to read that because I thought maybe people would rather watch a video than have to read all this.
Let's see.
We'll find out. We'll find out how it goes. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bye till later.
Bye.